Struggling with remembering their times tables. I've helped over 100 students in the last few years help master their times table within just a couple of hours. Here's my top tips to help your child master them. The first thing that your child needs to remember is that multiplication is just repeated addition. So let's say we have our 7 times table. I'm choosing this because it's normally the most difficult. We've got 7 times 1, which would be 7. If we want the next one, we just need to add 7 again. So you could add 10 and then take away 3. That would be 14. Add 10, 24, take away 3, 21, 28, 35, and so on. So you just remember to go up, we're adding 7 all the time, and to go back, we need to take away 7. The way I would show my children the times tables, I would use this order. So obviously 7 times by 1 is 7, and then they should know that if I double something, I'm timesing it by 2, I double it to get 14, I could double it again, and 2 doubled would give me 4, so that's 28, and if I double 28, I get to 56, so that would go over there. Then these 3 together. The next ones that I would remember is 7 times by 10, which is 70, and half of 70, half of 10 is 5, and that would get me to 35. I know 7 times 11 is 77, the 11s are quite easy, and then we can do our 3, 6, and 12. So we can start with 14, if we add 7, we get to 21, and if we double 21, we get to 42, and if we double 42, we get to 84. So you could use them to help you. To work out 7 times 7, 42 add 7 gives you 49, and then you could do 70, take away 7, which is 63. With your 9 times table, these 2 digits will always add up to make 9 or a multiple of 9, so that's a little trick. I would ask your child to read these out aloud, so 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, read them out aloud a couple of times. I would slowly start taking away the easy ones from here and ask them to still read them out. So I would take away 7 times 1 first, I'd take away 7 times 2, 7 times 10, and then ask them to repeat it again. If they can do that, I'd get rid of a couple more. So I'd get rid of 7 times 11, I'd get rid of maybe 7 times by 4, 7 times by 8, and just repeat that process with all of the times tables. So I wouldn't start off with the 7 times table, I would start off with my 2 times table, then my 4 times table, then my 8 times table, because these are just doubles of each other, so these are good to learn with each other. The next ones that I would do together would be my 10s and my 5s, because if you know your 10s, you just half your 10s to get your 5 times table. The next ones that I would do would be 11, because they're quite simple. 3 times 3, 33, 7 times 7, 77, so on. Just need to remember a couple of them after 11 times 10. So we've got a couple of them done. After I've done my 11s, I'd learn my 3s, my 6s, my 9s, and my 12s, because they're quite similar to each other. And then finally, I'll finish off by remembering my 7s. But if you know the rest of them, you already know your 7s, so you don't even actually have to learn that. After your child is able to just recall them by memory, just reading them out aloud, I'd ask them to actually go backwards and read them from back to front. So 84, 77, 70, 63, and so on. If they can do all of that, then I would start giving them some small tests. I would first start with multiplication only tests, and then I would start with division tests. So a really good website for this is using timestables.me.uk. You can choose which times tables you want to test your child on. I would choose the timesing by first, and then I would choose a mixture of timesing and dividing by. If you have TT Rockstars or anything similar, I think these kind of websites are quite good. So I would practice individual times tables first. Once they've completed that, I've got a little link that will help them create a little 25 question times table test, and they can try all of these questions. And your child is aiming to be able to do at least 25 questions within 90 seconds. So it's around 3 seconds per question. So that's kind of the minimum that they're aiming for before they want to be attempting any sort of advanced sort of tests like 11 plus or GCSEs. Normally when I'm teaching someone, they need to be able to reach that minimum requirement for them to be able to attempt something else. So whether it's adding fractions or finding prime factors or anything, it's the minimum requirement, the base requirement that they need to do. If you also want to practice a little bit more, you can check out my website and click on Practice Zone, where I've created this little game, and you can test your child on a lot of different things on arithmetic. So there's timesing by powers of 10, multiplying by decimals, finding fractions of amounts, and this one is your times table. So you could do a little challenge and you just answer these questions, and you're trying to do as many as you can within however long you want. So your child is aiming to complete 25 in 90 seconds. I think my best time on here is about 25 seconds. See if you or your child could beat that and let me know what score they get.